Auckland Council, you know, that's your decision to do it. Oh, thank you. And so we think that it's something you need to plan towards. And so we have bids that want to do it, that have been planning towards doing an expansion, and they've got money in their buckets. And the assistance that council officers will do is we'll do a workshop once a year to describe the process, and we'll provide obviously all the rating information and help them with the maps, but we expect them to project manage it themselves.
Okay, so Chair, that's one thing I think the councillors around here should know with those that wish to expand, is that basically we used to assist, we no longer will.
That's correct.
And so I think that's just one point that needs to be put in front of the councillors. So, and then I'll save my comment, and it's a very short comment.
Yeah. And now Councillor Brewer.
Oh, thank you.
Question?
Yes. Geez, I'm getting nervous now. I just want some assurance that through Councillor Anai's committee we had some bid managers front up, and one of the main concerns they had was that they felt that they didn't say this, but that their status was put down there with the general public, if you like, and if they put a call through for a complaint, they'd be put through the call centre, and they'd have to wait 10 days for a formal response. And does this policy, Mr. Chairman, thank you, does this policy, and I know it's hard through policy work, it's normally through relationships, but are there protocols in this policy which will help elevate our 40-odd town centre managers to be able to get timely and quick and effective and efficient responses to the organisation and CCOs?
Through you, Mr. Chair, it's quite separate from the policy.
Sure.
And so the policy will obviously say Auckland Council will work with our bids to provide what services we can. The issue that you're specifically talking about was dealt with at a workshop, and I can't quite remember the date. It was an ED workshop, and it came down to an understanding about how the call centre worked, and the levels of service that were being provided. So there was a lack of understanding about the levels of service currently provided. And we are working with a new service delivery model that we're bringing on board for the bids, where we're going to try and streamline as much information as we can, but the bid team and the bid policy can't affect the levels of service that are determined for Auckland Council for operational contracts.
Okay, no, that's all right. Just secondly, Mr. Chair, and I'm pleased that this was, I think it was the acting mayor who put the brakes on this policy a year or 2 or 3 ago, and we've just taken a deep breath and done more work on it and been more inclusive with our consultation and going forward. Just with the role of local boards and local board representatives, I haven't got the attachments here, but just succinctly, does that change significantly, particularly those local board representatives that sit on those boards? So
it's a really good question. What we've done is we've put as an appendix and information that's gone out. For the first time, we've actually done almost a job description for a local board representative, because a lot of them said to us, I'm not quite sure what my role is here. So for the first time, we've done an appendix with, this is what we think your role is. And one of the things that we're really interested to hear back on this consultation will be about whether local board members should actually be voting members on the business association. So we're quite clear, we've had the whole spectrum of feedback from local boards. At one end of the spectrum they say, how can I do an effective job if I'm not a member, if I'm not a voting member? And at the other end they say, I don't want to be a voting member because it could be perceived as a conflict of interest.
And currently they are voting members?
Well, some of them are, not all of them, okay. Some of them, and I would say, we talked about this just yesterday with legal services, and I thought about 40 of the 48 were probably voting. That was a guess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to move the recommendation. Oh, sorry. Councillor Case, you got a question?
Yeah, it's just a tiny wee amendment that's just maybe skipped your eye under principles. It says that the bid programme, the bids have to be accountable to all full members of the association, their relevant local board and Auckland Council. But local boards are Auckland Council. I think you mean Auckland Council bid programme?
Through you, yes, we could word it like that, but we've actually got some very precise accountability mechanisms relating specifically to local boards, yep, and some relating to Auckland Council. So we did separate them deliberately.
You can't do that though, because no, Auckland Council is the local board.
The local boards. So okay, we can do that. Yep.
Okay, I'll move it. Who's?
Second.
Mr Wilcox, you got a question?
Oh, yeah, I'll be quick with my questions. I'll roll them into one. How are Maori businesses being engaged, and what else did I write? Can't read my own writing. Oh, what will be the follow-up to 21, which was in the Maori impact statement?
Right, I'm going to let my co-worker Stephen Kavana answer that one.
Yeah, so paragraph 21. Yes, so as part of there's two, through the chair, there's two streams to this work. As well as developing the policy, the bid programme team is going to change a model, and that includes kind of new kind of regionalised staffing. One of the roles is likely to be what we call a partnership role. So the partnership role will initially look at kind of leveraging the power of the 48 bids. So currently about 25,000 businesses, and how does those 48 bids work with programmes initially with Auckland Council programmes? And specifically, we think that partnership role could look at how do we work with Maori businesses with the bids to see is there ways that the bids can support and grow Maori businesses. That's something that obviously that role hasn't been created yet, but that's one of the things that will be as part of the position description and etc. We'll be putting in there. As far as I know, Jill, you can correct me if I'm wrong. There's some of the bids. I'm not aware of any of the 48 bids that do have specific Maori programs. But one of the things we could do is identify how can we work better doing that in the future. So that the partnership role will certainly be one where we see that is a way forward on that. I know we've got a meeting with our MSB Secretariat on the 17th of December to kind of start that initial conversation to see how this is going to work. I do also know that Te Wakangamua and Rimu are doing some research around defining what a Maori business is, because that's one of the problems we face is in terms of what is a definition of Maori business and also definitions of Maori business groups. So we're kind of keen to work with their work as well, and that, they're doing some research at the moment on that. So that's how we're planning to.
Yeah, so then I suppose I was just going to say, the Kaukop to Kumu one, I mean, I know they are, the Maunga Whakahi business group are quite integrally involved in that one.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Right, I'll move it. Councillor Anai, second it. Any discussion?
Oh, sorry.
Very one quick
No, well,
question.
first up,
Sorry, this is a question actually. So, Jill, going back to Councillor Casey's comment, I mean, because the local boards are as local boards, integral to this, I mean, is there a way that we can talk about local boards and the governing body separately? Because I do think that, as you know, some of the bids get a bit mixed up if things are going wrong, and I think we need to delineate those two.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, it's been moved on the table. Councillor Filipaini, you want to speak to it?
Just very, very, very short comment, and it's really just to comment further on what Cameron was talking about, and that is the process, the new service delivery model. There have been concerns from at least one of my local boards around their service model and any issues that they bring to the new model gets lost as a result of not having a person that they contact and getting that personal contact. And I think, Chair, that's one of the key things that I've been advised by the local board, is that they will lose that personal touch, and I mean with the expansion with our bids. So that's one thing, and obviously when it comes back, that's in the, I'll be speaking to that, but that's just from one of the local boards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair.
With that, I'll put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Declare that carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I don't see